Hello and welcome back to Sew April. So today starts episode 1 of my, I don't have a name yet, my blue Dream Big quilt. It's a Robert Kaufman panel, and I'm gonna try to get y'all caught up to where I am and then show you how I do the free motion to get the really pretty designs and stuff, and some of the things that have helped me in the past. Okay, so for one, I have some quilting books, and some of them are on Amazon. If they're still on Amazon, which I'm pretty sure they are, I will go ahead and link them down below, so that way, if you're interested in looking at it, then you can, find it for yourself. Okay, so one of the books I like is called Freemotion Design Borders, Setting Triangles and Cornerstones. And I know I can't use these images when I do my designs on my quilt because I'm pretty sure that's kind of copyrighted or something. I'll show this one page, and basically this book shows you where you start your design and then how to come up with the designs that they have. And of course there's feathers, which everyone has their own style of doing feathers, or what they call plumes or something, and I'm sure there's like a million videos. The one thing I will say is, if you're looking for perfection, you might not want to watch my videos, because the only thing I do that's perfection with my quilting is I've learned that the 1/4 inch seam is very important. I don't do a scant 1/4 inch, I do a full 1/4 inch, and I've never had any problem with piecing anything as of this point. And if I have any problems with any kind of borders and whatever, I always figure out some way to make it kind of work out. So, like I said, I do things probably different than anyone else, and same thing with my free motion quilting. Like I said, I'm not going to be showing stuff that I've used in these books in the past, mainly because this quilt, when I made my daughter's 6 years ago, and I'll post pictures of my daughter's quilt, and I actually designed the way that I did her little squares too. Yes, there was a pattern out there, but I did it with just strips and I think maybe a square. I don't know. I did something different. But anyways, my point is, when I made her quilt, I used mine as a sampler, and if I liked the design, I put it on hers. Well, there's some on here that I was like, I didn't like at the time. I don't know if I still like it or not, but since I've got like half of the quilt done, I figured for making it more like a whole, I'm just going to continue on with what's on the quilt, so that way it kind of blends and goes in. Now, it's been 6 years since I've done proper free motion, so yeah, we all knew that I had that bomb with my daughter's one quilt. But anyways, so here's another one. It's from Amanda Murphy, Free Motion Quilting Idea book, and you can see some of the designs in here, and then she has some on the back. Let's see if I can show you something here. Okay, well, here's an example. If you have, I don't even know what kind of I guess a square block that has triangles. It shows that you can do those kind of designs, or make a echo flower, something like that. So there's that. Very good book. I love all of these books. I 100% recommend all these books. Okay, this one says 60 Machine Quilting Patterns. It's from Pat Hawley and Sue Nichols. And yes, you think, oh, okay, so it's just a like for, I don't know, maybe it's for a machine, I don't really know. But like, here's some designs. My plan that I was going to use for this book was, oh, if I like it, I'll just put it on tracing paper and then figure a way to like put it on the quilt, or maybe, or even do like some applique from it. When I made my husband's quilt with the hearts, I got the idea from this, and I just used it as the whole border of his truck quilt. So, I mean, there's that. It's really good too. And then, I think this is one of my favorite ones, Angela Walters, and I love Angela Walters. Shape by Shape Collection 2. I really need to get one, because her books are amazing, and it shows you different stuff. Well, okay, let's see. Okay, so, like, for instance, she shows you that you can make like a diamond in a triangle, and then like a cross in a square, and a lot of like unique designs that you wouldn't really think, oh, well, that's gonna look really good. Okay, so for example, the circle, you know, you can do sorry y'all, I'm directionally challenged again. You can do this kind of a design, and she shows you how to achieve that. So, yeah. And then she's got all the shapes in here, hexagons, triangles, and there's even some background fillers and stuff, which, like I said, very good book. Something I do use also are Angela Walters Creative Grid rulers. I have Squiggy, Archie, and I also have Shorty. And what I like about these, I never seem to have anything I need. Okay, so it has the black lines if you're on light fabric, and if you're on dark fabric, you can see the white lines. So those are good. But you can use these with your Freemotion foot as well and go around it, and so that way you're ensuring that you get a solid line that is the shape of the ruler. So, and then it has the stopping point, and then you just move this over, and then you can continue your design, which is really good. Sometimes what I like to do is I use the stencil and I draw it on the quilt with my blue markers that are water soluble, so I can know, okay, that's what I was wanting to put there. And then I put the ruler there, and then I use that when I'm doing that. Another thing I do is circles. You can always use a stencil. I do have a circle, oh, I don't remember where I put it. I do have some circles from Julia Quiltoff. I had ordered these, I believe it was on Etsy. So, yes, all these things I'm showing you are domestic friendly. Now, honestly, what I like to do is I like to use this, make the circle, and then I usually just free motion it, because when I get in that zen, I just tend to go on by myself. Now, some things that help are, you can get the gloves to help you grip onto the fabric, which I usually typically wear one on my right hand, and then my other one I, you know, operate. Or I like to use these. I don't remember who I watched, but someone I watched a long time ago shared how to use this. So this is a sponge, and it has the grippy plastic stuff, and then the soft here, and then I just added the elastic. And a lot of times, because I have two of them, a lot of times I prefer these over the gloves. it's easier to get better traction because of the grippiness of it, and it's soft so it doesn't like wear on your hands. So these are really good to, you know, help you out with the quilting. I will show at least one flower that we're going to work on today. So I'm just trying to get familiar with some of the stuff that I might be using. Some people have like a slick silicone piece that they put by their mat or under it. I don't really do that. I will be using an extension on my machine, so it just makes my sewing machine bed longer, and I don't know if I can do that over here on my Juki or if I have to do that in the dining room, but when I make a really big quilt, typically I use my chairs and I like set the quilt on that, and then I also roll it up, and I have these big clips I got that help me, you know, get the stuff out of the way. So I'll show those as well when I get to that point. And then right now, okay, so one thing I like to do, which I cannot find my dry erase markers. I have no idea where they are. I'm a little bit annoyed at that, but anyways, one thing I like to do, and this is what I started out with, it's just a cheap dry erase board that you get at the dollar store, and I would draw the design of the leaf, and then I would say, okay, that's what I like, and I think I'm going to try that on the quilt. So that would be what I would say that I was going to do. I don't know how well this is going to come off of my stuff, so I'm just going to do that. So anyways, this works perfectly fine. I, however, got this one at a thrift store, and I like it better because I can sit on my couch and just design and look at what I think I'm going to want to do on the quilt, and it gives me a better perspective of, okay, I like this. Also, when you draw the design, it helps give you that muscle memory. So when you go to Freemotion it, you already have that built in your brain. Khaleesi, stop it. Sorry. So you have that like all built in on your brain, and it really does help you get the design out on your quilt. So I highly recommend that. I have tons of notebooks that I literally would use a pen and try to figure out what designs I wanted to do on what, and like just learning different designs, because when I go in, I go all in. And then someone had used some kind of design like this, and I thought I could do that. So I got a piece of vinyl, and hold on, let me draw a leaf on this. This, for example, there's a leaf. And so I got a piece of vinyl, and I put some painter's tape around it. So that way I can go ahead and draw my design from that. See, I just drew the circles on there. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. So then I'll go to my quilts and I'll say, okay, is that going to look good on that part of the quilt? So I basically audition it on the quilt, and I look at it and I see if that's what I wanted as the design. And a lot of times, yes, there have been a few times I'm like, oh, no, I don't like the way that looks, because this side is more crowded. I need to add a little bit more to it, and then, you know, it really helps you balance out your quilt. So let me wipe this off. Okay, so these are also some of my must-haves. As you can see, I just throw them in here. I have just safety pins, the big ones, so when I sandwich my quilt together, and then I just have it in this container. And then these are the blue water-soluble markers that I like to use. I believe the purple or pink, one air dries, and I think one dissolves in like 24 hours. I don't know. I like the blue because I can see what I physically did on the quilt, and then it washes off. So to me, I just really like that, and it makes it so much easier because I can see what I'm doing. I already have everything planned out. This was planned out before I had washed it. I think I spilled coffee on it or something. I don't really know, but I know I needed to be washed before I finished it. So, okay. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the quilting part. I also wanted to show, before I did this quilt, the before and after images, because when the panel had arrived, it was really faded, and I had to use tie-dye on it to get it to where it would show up more. So I'm going to show the before and after. I'm going to have them side by side, and what I did to achieve that is I would put the tie-dye in a cup, like a plastic cup, with some water solution on it, and I basically just brushed it on in the shape that I needed. So I wanted to make sure I put that on there, and I will go ahead and show on the quilt now how I work a design, and then I'll be back and I will show how to quilt with it. So here we go. And I'm going to try to do this darker leaf right here. Let me go ahead and outline it with the blue marker so y'all can see it better. And yes, I outline each leaf too, so it just gives me a better idea of what I'm going to do. And I'm looking around here, and this one's really tightly, the design is real tightly put together, and the one beside it is real loose. So I think I'm going to go for in between, and I kind of like the design here I have on this side, which is just squiggles, and if I remember correctly, that is one of the easier designs to do. Of course, so is the plumes, or the feathers. Let's see. Important to make sure that you're covering the whole area with this to do a testing, which I wasn't a minute ago. Basically, you want to make sure that it's one continuous stitching line. So I'm going to go here, make my little area, and then I'm going to go there. And then basically, you just branch off of each squiggle. I don't like the way this is looking. Okay, so I don't like that at all. I don't know if it's just because I'm really rusty, but it's not working for me, and it looks horrible. So we're not going to do that. Okay, so going by some of the other designs in here, we have some that are like cross hatching, some that are stripes, some that have the feather, some that have circles. I was trying to keep the circles basically in the middle. So let's do, like I was doing on my design one, let's kind of echo the flower, and then maybe if I branch off of that and then make a feather and just fill it in. Okay, I'm liking this. And I can continue down the other way. And honestly, it does not matter if you're honestly, it does not matter if you're what's that called? If your feathers are not the same. One side, I don't know if you can see this. One side they're a little smaller, and then the other side they're a little bit bigger. Let's see if that helps. Okay, can you see the consistency isn't really there? But I like that in feathers. I like them a little more wonky. So basically what I did was I started out, and then because I don't know how well y'all could see it on the flower, I just went up, like, here's the border of the quilt, and I just basically brought my little feather pieces up to it. So that's all there is to that. And after looking at it, which I'm going to have this line in here drawn as well, I think I might go ahead and just echo it. I think that is really pretty, and that's the design I'm going to go for on this flower. So let me go ahead and draw that in. So basically I just drawing it in. My marker doesn't seem to want to write a little. It seems a little bit dry. And I will show you this after I'm done drawing it on here, and then we will work with it. Hold on, let me get a different marker here. So then, yeah, this one's better. Then we just go ahead and fill it in. And yes, there's a million different ways that you can do a feather. I just prefer to do it this way. Okay. And then I'm going to redraw that line in the center because that other marker was a little bit faded. And then I'm going to draw my echoing line. Okay. So this is what we are going to be drawing. Sorry if I bumped the camera. That is going to be what I did in blue here. That is going to be what we're going to be using with the Freemotion on the machine. So that will be all stitches. And I personally, since I'm doing the stitches with the color of the quilt, I used yellows for the center, and I'm using blues on the blue part. I will be using blue embroidery thread. Yes, this is controversial. A lot of people don't agree with it. But this is for a quilt for me, and this is what I want, so that's what I'm doing. So, let me show you how I set up my machine. Also, I need to wipe this off because I don't know if that's going to stain my thing. I know I can make another one, but okay, I'm done with that. Okay, so my machine is the almost out. Is the Brother SQ9185. And when I said I have an extension, basically you take this part off that has all the little things, and also in here I keep my setting for my Freemotion on this paper, so I remember. And then I also put the settings that I have on there when I'm not Freemotioning, so that way I have the right setting. So basically this slides right on there. It slides, and now my machine is set for my quilting. So I already have my foot in here. I don't know how well y'all can see that. I have a clear one. I have others I can show you. Let's see. I have this one. The one I have in there is kind of like that. I'll probably never find that again. And then I also have a metal one. And I'll link the ones I have in my comment section, or I'll link the ones I have down below in the description box. And I'll put on there the one I'm using. I believe the one I'm using is the Dream or something like that. Okay, so for my machine, I have to have this top number needs to be at 9. I also need to go in the back, and there's a switch to drop my feed dogs. Oh my, that's really hard to do. Didn't have them dropped the other day. Okay, so my feed dogs are dropped. I'm at 9, and now I just need to turn the machine on. I need to have my stitch at 1 because that is my straight stitch. And I'm just going to use this for today because this is one of my, like I said, my favorite things. And I will show how I clip the quilt around when I have a bigger section. Right now I really don't have a bigger section. Yeah. Okay, so my camera like totally died while I was showing what I was doing. So I'm gonna turn the camera around, and we're gonna stitch at least 1 leaf, maybe 2 on camera. And if you would like to see me quilt more of the leaves, let me know. If not, then I will just start the next part of the series with cutting the squares with my Sizzix, and then quilting the machine, machine quilting at that point. But for right now, I'm doing the Freemotion on this, and I will show you what I'm doing. Hoping you'll have a good angle. I have the machine threaded. My needle's threaded. My feed dogs are dropped. I do have my extension tray on, and I will put it on stitch 1, which is a straight stitch, which is very important. And then I'm just going to use my little sponge thing that I get a good grip with, and I'm hoping y'all can see this fairly well. I got my stitch all the way up to here, and I pulled it out like you're supposed to. I'm actually going to cut that thread off because I don't want it tangled. I was going to say at this point, before my camera died, after you get a little section, check underneath to make sure that your stitches look good and they're not make sure that they're not loose, that the stitches are not getting really like wonky or just really bad looking. If it looks really bad, you'll have to mess with your tension. The tension on this machine, I have the top number as 9, and then I have I can control the speed with this knob here, which I love, but I also use my foot pedal as well. So yeah, I hope this is helping. But I'm going to go ahead and continue sewing, and I'll talk a little bit when I need to. I didn't even sew a straight line, but it's fine. It's totally fine. Maybe I'll make this one come out a little bit too, so it, you know, when you make something that you think is a mistake, turn it into an opportunity and just do it on the other side so nobody knows it's a mistake. That's one of the things that I typically tend to do. But I do like to have my foot pedal going pretty fast because it gives better stitches. So here we go. Alright, and then and y'all gotta remember, it's been years since I have done this. And I don't have my glove. I think my glove would be good on this hand, but it's okay. Alright, so and then I'm right at that point where I started the other one. Now I'm just going to go straight in the middle and do the echo. And I don't care that I'm not on the line. It's totally fine. The line will wash out. I just need to get in the general vicinity of it. Alright, and then as I go to the next, I'm going to go back to the start again. Then I will start making the plumes. And I really hope y'all can see this. If you don't, I apologize. Let's see if I can maybe a little closer. So hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. I can't turn the light off on the machine, so I'll have to see when it's uploaded. If y'all can't see it, I apologize, but I'm trying to show y'all. Okay, go back to the start, and then now I'm doing my feather. Oh, geez, it's been a while. Wow, my needle just broke. So, obviously I was doing something my machine didn't like. Okay, so I thought I would take the opportunity to show you how to change the needle if you do not know how. And I hope I didn't lose the end of that needle tip. So you just unscrew the needle bar. And then the needle should come out pretty good. Now I'm just going to set it back in my tray here so I don't step on it. And then I will take this out. And where did I just put my scissors? Okay. Brought my little nipper things. I will unclip it there. And then I will look on the back. Make sure nothing bad happened. I guess I should put you in the quilt. So this is what I did right here. I have a little pucker here. I'm fine with that. It's for me. And then I have a little spot here. And this is going to be sandwiched underneath the sandwich of the quilt. So it's totally fine. But I was adding the little plumes here, and that's where it happened. I don't know what went wrong, but this is the design that I'm doing right here, and it got to right there, and that's where my needle broke. So I'm going to change the needle, and hopefully I won't have any more problems. Needles I like. The Schmitz quilting needles. I feel like it's too zoomed in, it's not getting it. The number says 130, 75 HQ, and then the bottom says 75-11. These are the ones that I prefer to use. And yes, I did start off with a brand new needle before I started quilting. And I don't know where the other part of the needle is, so I'm guessing it just kind of... Oh, you know what? I did not check where the groove is on the last one, but I believe it goes, because this one has a flat spot and then a round. I believe on this quilt the flat spot goes in the back, so we're gonna find out. Well, last time I didn't have problems pitting the needle in, I guess because it was already in the right flat spot. I like to always hold my needle while I'm screwing it on the bar. And this is just a, what's the name of this? Teeny Turner is what that is. I got it on Amazon. So, okay, now I need to rethread my machine. And what I do when I have any mess ups, especially with quilting, is I just completely cut my thread and totally restart it, because it had a mess up from something and I don't know where. So I will just stop the problem if it was something from up top. Okay, so we're back to starting again. And this time I can show you how to get the needle brought up. Now, you hold the top thread in the back position, like to the back and the side. I like to put my needle down and then put the foot down. That way I'm in this spot. Now, I roll the needle, I hold the thread back, and then I roll the needle, and if you can see, my white thread from the bobbin has pulled up now. So then I just pull it, and now I have, I'm going to cut some of that, it's too long. Now I have both the threads, and I don't know why I feel like it's snagging up top. I think I need to switch my needle stand. Hold on. Okay, and I will show the needle stand that I had my husband make me years ago, but you can buy them on Amazon. I think they even sell them on Temu, so I shouldn't have, knock on wood, any problems. So let's go start ahead. And I'm getting tangled in my thread here, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut these now, because I don't need them. Yes, I know the proper way is to tie them off, but as I said, this is for me, and I just don't think it's 100% necessary. So there's that. Alright, I forgot to go down to that one, so I'm going to go back over it. I feel like something's not quite right. Oh, and I did bring my gloves, so I'm going to put those on and see if that helps anything. Like I said, it's been forever since I have done this. Okay, one thing to make sure of make sure your quilt does not get stuck up underneath itself. And I should have pinned around it more. So before I continue on after this leaf, I will use my safety pins and I will pin around more, because I think that's what's kind of throwing me off, is my quilt isn't as tight as it should be. Okay, so my needle broke, or stopped again. It didn't break, it just had stopped. So, and it looks like I might have a problem with this thread. I don't know. I'm trying to get it to catch before I start up the machine. Okay, so let's try this again. This time I'm not gonna cut those other threads. I'm just gonna pull them in the back, or pull them down actually, to get them out of my way. Maybe I cut the threads and it didn't have enough to hang on. I don't know. I think this thread might be too old. It is trying to rip again. So my camera died again, and I had to change my thread because I think the thread I was using was too old, and maybe that was why it was breaking. So we're gonna see if I have problems now. And I'm just gonna use my sponge deal on both my hands because I just feel like I need that now. So here we go. And anytime you need to stop, just make sure your needle's in the down position. And my thread broke again. Oh my gosh. I think I might have to change to quilting thread. I can do this again. This time I put a different type of thread. It's not embroidery. So hopefully I can get this finished for today. I might have been going too fast. Sometimes the thread can break if you go too fast, and it's important to move your quilt so it's loose and it doesn't start to drag. I don't know what that noise is, but we're gonna keep going because and that's it. Or at least for me, I am done for today. It's more stressful when you're trying to do a video and your thread and everything keeps messing up. So let me show you what I did. And of course the back is going to look horrible because my thread kept breaking on the back. So if you can see, it messed up here and there and then right there. But like I said, you won't be able to see that. But this is what we did today. The lines that are in the blue, and my thread. Oh, from about here is where I switched it over to the cream. So I'm sure you can't really see much of that right now, but yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, the stitches look pretty decent. The tension was off a little bit, and that might be because my thread in the bobbin I didn't change, so it still has the embroidery thread in the bottom, so it should be fine when I change the thread out. So anyways, I hope you learned something. Like I said, I am not an expert at all. I don't claim to be. I know a few things from watching some videos, and I'm a self-taught person when it comes to anything sewing related. But I hope the video kind of made sense to how I design my quilts and what I do. So yeah. Okay, so I didn't even change my thread, and I went all the way around the leaf, and I only did one thing. I remember one of the ladies I watched, I believe her name was Leah something, and she always had the feed dogs up. So I think that was actually a way that I like to do it. So I don't know. We're going to go through and try to do this real quick. And right about there is where I'm going to check the underneath. Yeah, stitches are still good. I'm stuck on my batting. The part I find hardest is trying to travel I just made a simple feather. Apparently not simple enough for me to follow. And I got a wrinkle, but that's fine. Okay. That's how fast it's supposed to go. Unlike earlier. My leaf here, or my feather, was not a very good one because I didn't practice drawing a feather. So, I'll share what I just did. And I did not go in the lines that I was doing, so I just did this quilt right here, or this feather here, and like I said, I didn't go in lines, and I have a little pucker there, but the main thing is the quilt stitches on the back are good, so next time it'll be better, yeah. But I did want y'all to know that if there's a pucker like that, don't worry about it. Yes, I could unpick it, I could fix it. And I went out of my lines. I totally went out of the lines that I drew. It's been 6 years since I've done any of the Freemotion. So, yeah. I mean, I tried to do that on my daughter's quilt, but I totally butchered it. But we're not going to talk about that. That video's gone. So anyways, I just want y'all to know that, you know, if you have a problem like that, just keep going, and you know, if it really bothers you, you can unpick it. I myself, like I said, this is for me, and I've put this quilt off for 6 years. I'm just going to leave it be, and I know that I will improve on the next flower leaf. So, anyways, I hope y'all learned a little something, and I hope you didn't think that I just totally butchered my quilt, because I know I can get better. I know stuff that I've done in here before is better. I probably should practice on a sample before I finish another feather, because I don't remember how I did it, and trying to do it on here was not an easy task. So yeah, anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I will go ahead and catch y'all next time. Bye.